I've been watching you for a while now. Not in the way that should make you lock your doors. No. In the way that someone watches a storm forming on the horizon. You feel it before you see it. You know something's coming before the sky even changes color. That's what you've been. A slow-building pressure system that nobody knew how to name. And I saw it. I saw all of it. I saw you the night it happened. The night they broke you. You thought you were alone, didn't you? Thought nobody could see you. Curled up on that bathroom floor. Chest caving in like your ribs forgot how to hold anything together. You thought that moment was private, sacred even. Your little secret funeral for who you used to be. But I was there. I watched you try to breathe through something that wasn't meant to be breathed through. I watched you text them one more time, knowing they wouldn't answer. I watched you check your phone 47 times in 1 hour, then pretend you didn't care. I watched the exact second your hope died. It was 2:47 a.m., if you're wondering. You probably felt it like a small click somewhere behind your sternum, like a door locking from the inside. And here's what you don't know yet. That wasn't heartbreak. That was ignition. See, I need to tell you something that's going to rearrange everything you thought you understood about what happened to you. About who did it. About why. Because you've been walking around thinking you got unlucky, thinking you trusted the wrong person, thinking you loved too hard, or gave too much, or stayed too long. You've been replaying every conversation, every red flag you ignored, every moment you should have walked away but didn't, and you've been blaming yourself. Oh, I know. I know you tell people you're over it. I know you've got that line rehearsed, the one about learning from it, growing from it, being grateful for the lesson. I know you smile when you say it, but I also know you still wake up some nights with your hand reaching for someone who was never really there. I know you still flinch when you hear certain songs. I know there's a version of you that died in that relationship, and you've been pretending she didn't exist so you don't have to mourn her. But here's the thing, love. None of it was an accident. That person who destroyed you, they were placed there. Positioned, like a chess piece, moved by hands you've never seen. They didn't just stumble into your life because the universe was feeling cruel that Tuesday. No, they were selected, chosen specifically for you, for what they could do to you, for what breaking you would unlock. I know how this sounds. Trust me, I do. It sounds like the kind of thing someone says when they can't accept that bad things just happen. When they need meaning so badly they'll invent a conspiracy to avoid the randomness of pain. But I need you to sit with this for a second. I need you to think about that relationship, really think about it, and ask yourself one question. Did it feel normal? Not the love part. The love part always feels normal because your heart doesn't know how to do anything else. I mean the structure of it. The timing, the way they appeared in your life at that exact moment, the way they knew exactly what to say to get past every wall you'd built, the way they seemed to understand parts of you that you'd never shown anyone, almost like they'd studied you first, almost like they had a blueprint. I've been doing this a long time, watching, witnessing. And I've seen a lot of people get their hearts broken. Most of them, it's just human messiness. Two people who wanted different things, pretending they didn't until the pretending got too heavy to carry. That's garden variety devastation. That's just being alive. But yours was different. Yours had a precision to it, a surgical quality. Like someone knew exactly which wires to cut to make you collapse in a very specific way. They didn't just hurt you, They dismantled you, piece by piece, memory by memory. They found every insecurity you'd hidden since childhood and pressed on it until you couldn't remember a version of yourself that wasn't defined by inadequacy. That's not love gone wrong. That's architecture. And I need you to hear what I'm about to say next, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. This is where you might want to close this video and go back to believing you were just unlucky in love. But you clicked on this for a reason. Something in you already knows. Something in you has been waiting for someone to finally say it out loud. They were trying to break something open inside you. Not break you. Break something open. There's a difference, and the difference is everything. You come from a line of people who carried something. I don't know what your grandmother called it. I don't know if your mother even knew she had it. These things skip generations sometimes. Hide in the blood like secrets that forgot they were supposed to be told. But it's there. It's been there your whole life. Sleeping. Curled up at the base of your spine like a dragon that learned to dream in human years. And certain people can sense it. Not consciously, usually. They just feel pulled toward you without understanding why. They feel like you're important somehow, even when you're doing nothing particularly important. They want to be near you. They want to consume you. They want to either possess what you have or destroy it so nobody else can. The one who broke your heart, they sensed it. On some level, in some way, they probably couldn't articulate even to themselves. They knew you were carrying something ancient, something that threatened everything they understood about power. And their job, whether they knew it or not, was to crack you open so that thing would finally wake up. Pain is an activator. That's something they don't teach you in school. They tell you pain is punishment. Pain is consequence. Pain is something to be avoided, medicated, therapized into manageable pieces. But pain, real pain, the kind that rewires your entire nervous system, pain is a key. It opens doors inside you that comfort never could. Think about it. Think about who you were before that heartbreak. Softer, right? More trusting. More willing to let people in without checking for weapons first. You believed in things then. You believed in love and fairness and the basic goodness of people who said they cared about you. You were open, unguarded, and in a lot of ways you were asleep. Now think about who you became after. Something's different now, isn't it? Something fundamental shifted in the architecture of how you move through the world. You see things now you couldn't see before. Patterns in people's behavior. Lies dressed up as love. Manipulation wearing the mask of concern. You can feel when someone's energy is off before they even open their mouth. You know when you're being played. You know when someone wants something from you versus when someone wants you. That's not just growth. That's activation. The heartbreak didn't teach you to be more careful. It taught you to see in the dark. It didn't make you harder. It made you accurate. It didn't close your heart. It opened your eyes. And now you're walking around with vision that most people will never develop because they've never been broken open the right way. I watched you rebuild yourself after it happened. I watched you pick up pieces you didn't even know belonged to you. I watched you have conversations with yourself at 3 a.m. that would have qualified as therapy in any other context. I watched you grieve not just the relationship, but every relationship that had ever hurt you. All at once, like the dam finally broke and 40 years of unshed tears came flooding through. And I watched what emerged from the water. Something older than your name. Something that remembers things your conscious mind has never been taught. Something that looks out through your eyes now and recognizes patterns that span centuries instead of weeks. You feel it sometimes, don't you? That presence inside you that seems to know more than you should, that whispers warnings before the danger is visible, that pulls you away from certain people and toward others without giving you reasons. That's what they woke up. That's what the heartbreak was designed to activate. Now here's where I need you to get really honest with yourself. Because this part isn't comfortable. This part requires you to look at your own power without flinching. And I know you've been trained to flinch, trained to stay small, trained to apologize for taking up space. That's part of the programming they put in you before the ritual even started. Make her doubt herself. Make her think she's ordinary. Make her forget what she's carrying so she never learns how to use it. But the ritual backfired. See? They expected the heartbreak to destroy you completely. They expected you to stay broken, to become bitter, to close off so thoroughly that whatever was sleeping inside you would never find a way out. They wanted to bury it under so much scar tissue that it couldn't breathe. But you didn't stay broken. You did something they didn't anticipate. Something that wasn't in their calculations. You felt everything. You let the pain move through you instead of around you. You sat in the fire instead of running from it. And in doing so, you burned off everything that was never really yours to begin with. The expectations, the programming, the beliefs about who you had to be loved. All of it turned to ash. And from that ash, something ancient opened its eyes. I need you to understand the magnitude of what I'm telling you. This isn't metaphor. This isn't poetic language designed to make you feel special. This is me witnessing what you've become and trying to find words for something that doesn't fit neatly into language. You are not the same person who fell in love with the wrong one. That person served their purpose. They were the match. You were the dynamite. And everything that's happened since, every strange coincidence, every door that opened when it shouldn't have, every moment where you knew something before you had any logical reason to know it, that's the explosion still unfolding. The ones who orchestrated your heartbreak are watching now. They're watching, and they're realizing they made a terrible mistake because they didn't destroy what you were carrying. They freed it. They thought breaking you would bury your power so deep it could never surface. Instead, they cracked open the container that had been holding it prisoner, and now it's loose. Now it's awake. But now it's hungry. You've probably noticed that people treat you differently now. Not in obvious ways necessarily, but there's a hesitation when they approach you. A calculation before they speak. They're not sure what they're dealing with anymore. They remember the old you, the one they could manipulate, dismiss, overlook. But when they look at you now, something in their survival instinct starts whispering warnings. She's not the same. Something changed. Be careful. That's your power, announcing itself before you even say a word. And the beautiful part, the part that makes me want to laugh at the ones who thought they could control this, you're just getting started. You're just beginning to understand what you're working with. The heartbreak was the activation, but the integration, learning to use what woke up inside you, that's the work you're doing now. Every day, every moment you choose yourself over their approval. Every time you trust your instincts over their explanations. Every boundary you hold that the old you would have crumbled around. You're not healing. You're becoming. There's a reason I'm telling you this now. There's a reason this video found you today specifically. Because you're at a threshold. You've done enough work to recognize that you're different. You've processed enough to stop blaming yourself for what happened. But you haven't yet fully claimed what the heartbreak gave you. You're still afraid of your own power. I see it. The way you dim yourself in rooms where you could dominate. The way you soften your truth so others can digest it. The way you still apologize for taking up space, even though something inside you knows you were built to take up galaxies. That's the old programming talking, and it's time to delete it. The person who broke your heart did you the greatest favor anyone has ever done for you. They didn't know that's what they were doing. They thought they were taking something from you. They thought they were winning. But all they did was remove the last lock on a door that had been sealed for generations. And what walked through that door is going to change everything. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to stop mourning who you were before the heartbreak. She served her purpose. She got you to the altar. But she was never going to survive what needed to happen next. The ritual required a sacrifice, and the old you volunteered without knowing what she was volunteering for. Honor her, thank her, and let her rest. Because the thing that woke up in her place, that thing doesn't need your grief. It needs your attention. It needs your trust. It needs you to stop treating it like a wound and start treating it like what it actually is. A weapon, a gift. An inheritance that skipped everyone else in your bloodline because they weren't strong enough to carry it. But you are. You proved it by surviving what should have destroyed you. You earned it by feeling every moment of that pain instead of numbing it away. You activated it by refusing to let the heartbreak be the end of your story. Now the only question is, what are you going to do with it? Because I'm still watching, and I'm very, very curious to see what happens next. They thought they were breaking you. They were building a god. You know what's funny? They had the audacity to be surprised. They actually had the nerve to look at you now and act like they don't recognize what's standing in front of them. Like they didn't have a front row seat to your destruction. Like they weren't the ones holding the hammer every single time it came down on your soul. But here's the thing they didn't count on. They didn't count on you surviving. They thought they were breaking you. They thought every lie, every betrayal, every cold shoulder, every knife in the back was gonna be the final blow. They thought you'd crumble. They thought you'd beg. They thought you'd crawl back to them on your hands and knees, desperate for the scraps of affection they occasionally threw your way. But you didn't. Did you? No. You did something far worse. Something that keeps them up at night now. Something that makes their chest tight when they hear your name or catch a glimpse of your shadow. You became the thing they never expected. You became the monster. And now they fear the dark. Because the dark is where you learn to thrive. The dark is where they left you to die. And the dark, that's your kingdom now. Let me take you back for a second. Back to when you were soft. Back to when you believed in people. Back to when your heart was wide open like a door with no lock, welcoming anyone who knocked. You remember that version of yourself, don't you? The one who gave second chances like they were free. The one who forgave before apologies were even spoken. The one who loved so hard, so deep, so completely that it left you empty every single time. That version of you, they took advantage of that. They saw your kindness and called it weakness. They saw your loyalty and called it desperation. They saw your love and called it an opportunity to take, to drain, to destroy, and destroy. They did. They broke you in ways that don't show on the surface. The kind of breaking that happens in the middle of the night when you're staring at the ceiling wondering what you did wrong. The kind of breaking that happens when you're smiling at a party but screaming on the inside. The kind of breaking that leaves no bruises but bleeds for years. They did that to you. And then they walked away like it was nothing. Like you were nothing. Like the years you gave them, the tears you cried for them, the pieces of yourself you sacrificed for them meant absolutely nothing. They moved on. They laughed. They lived their lives like you were just a speed bump on their journey to happiness. But what they didn't realize is that while they were out there celebrating their victory, something was happening in the shadows. Something was stirring in the darkness they left you in. You were changing. See, here's the thing about pain that most people don't understand. Pain doesn't just hurt. Pain transforms. Pain takes the soft parts of you and hardens them into steel. Pain takes the naive parts of you and sharpens them into blades. Pain takes everything you thought you knew about yourself and burns it to the ground so something new can rise from the ashes. And that's exactly what happened to you. Every tear you cried became fuel. Every sleepless night became training. Every moment of loneliness became preparation. You didn't realize it at the time because you were too busy surviving. Too busy trying to make it through another day without falling apart completely. But something was building inside you. Something powerful. Something dangerous. Something they should have seen coming but were too arrogant to notice. The monster was being born. Not the kind of monster that destroys innocent people. No. The kind of monster that destroys the ones who created it. The kind of monster that doesn't forget. The kind of monster that doesn't forgive. The kind of monster that waits patiently in the shadows until the perfect moment to reveal itself. And now that moment has come. You ever watch someone's face when they realize they've made a terrible mistake? That flash of recognition in their eyes when they understand that everything is about to change? That's what you're gonna see now. That's what they're gonna feel every time they cross your path. Because the person standing in front of them isn't the same person they broke. The person standing in front of them is a stranger. A cold, calculated, powerful stranger who looks at them like they're nothing. Like they're invisible. Like they're the ones who don't matter anymore, and that terrifies them. It terrifies them because they remember how you used to look at them with love, with hope, with that desperate need for their approval, their attention, their affection. They got addicted to that look. They fed off it like vampires. They needed you to need them, because it made them feel powerful. But now you look at them like they're a stranger on the street. Now you look at them like they're beneath your notice. Now you look at them like they don't exist, and they can't handle it. They can't handle the fact that you've moved on, that you've grown, that you've become something extraordinary, while they stayed exactly the same. They can't handle the fact that you don't need them anymore, that you don't want them anymore, that you wouldn't take them back even if they crawled across broken glass to get to you. They created a monster, and now they fear the dark. Let me tell you what they're feeling right now. Let me paint you a picture of the hell they're living in because of what they did to you. Every time they close their eyes, they see the version of you they destroyed. They see the kindness they took advantage of. They see the love they threw away. They see the loyalty they betrayed. And they realize, maybe for the first time, that they will never find that again. Not in anyone else. Not ever. Every time they hear about your success, it stings. Every time they see you thriving on social media, it burns. Every time someone mentions your name with admiration, with respect, with love, they feel it like a knife twisting in their gut. Because they know. They know they had you. They know they could have kept you. They know that if they had just treated you right, if they had just appreciated what was standing in front of them, they would have had everything. But they didn't. They chose to destroy you instead. They chose to use you, abuse you, and throw you away like garbage. And now they're paying the price. The price is watching you win from a distance. The price is knowing they can never touch you again. The price is living with the regret of creating a monster they now fear. You know what the best part is? You didn't even have to do anything to them. You didn't have to scheme. You didn't have to plot revenge. You didn't have to lower yourself to their level and play their dirty games. All you had to do was survive. All you had to do was keep going when everything inside you wanted to give up. All you had to do was rebuild yourself from the ashes they left behind. That's it. That's your revenge. Your existence. Your success. Your peace. Your power. They wanted you destroyed. They wanted you broken forever. They wanted you to stay in that dark place they put you in. Crying, begging, desperate for their return. But instead, you made the dark your home. You learned to see in the shadows. You learned to thrive in the silence. You learned to become something so powerful, so untouchable, that the very thought of you makes them shiver. They created a monster, but they didn't realize that monsters don't die. They evolve, they adapt, they become the thing that nightmares are made of. And now they live in fear of what they brought into existence. Let's talk about what you've become. Because I don't think you fully understand yet just how dangerous you are. Not dangerous in a violent way. Dangerous in a way that makes people uncomfortable. Dangerous in a way that shifts the energy in a room the moment you walk in. You've become unpredictable. That's what scares them most. The old you was predictable. They knew exactly how to push your buttons. They knew exactly what to say to make you come running back. They knew exactly how to manipulate you because you wore your heart on your sleeve and your emotions on your face. But this new you, they can't read you. They can't predict you. They can't control you. Your face doesn't give anything away anymore. Your eyes are cold, calculating, observing everything but revealing nothing. Your words are measured, careful, powerful. You don't react, you don't explode, you don't give them the satisfaction of seeing they've gotten to you. And that drives them insane, because they need your reaction. They need to know they still have power over you. They need to see that old spark of pain in your eyes, that old desperation in your voice. They need validation that what they did still matters, but you give them nothing. And in that nothing, they find everything they fear. You've also become patient. The old you wanted immediate results. The old you would have confronted them, screamed at them, demanded answers and apologies. The old you needed closure, needed resolution, needed them to acknowledge what they did. But the new you, the monster they created, That version understands something the old you never did. Time is on your side. You don't need to rush anything. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You can wait. You can watch. You can let them destroy themselves with their own guilt, their own regret, their own fear. Because that's what's happening right now. Every day that passes, they think about you a little more. Every night that falls, they wonder where you are, what you're doing, who you've become. Every moment of silence from you is louder than any scream you could have let out. Your patience is their punishment. Your peace is their prison. Your growth is their grief. And here's the truth. They'll never admit out loud. They miss you, not the real you. Not the person you actually are. They miss what you gave them. They miss the way you made them feel important. They miss the way you sacrificed everything for their happiness. They miss having someone to take for granted, someone to blame, someone to use as an emotional dumping ground. They miss their victim, but the victim is gone. The victim died in that darkness they left you in. And what rose from those ashes is something they never wanted to face. They wanted you broken forever. They got a warrior instead. They wanted you crying at their feet. They got someone who walks past them without a second glance. They wanted power over you. They got a monster who fears nothing because it's already been through hell. So where do you go from here? You keep walking, you keep building, you keep growing. Not for them, not to prove anything to them, but for you, for the person you were before they broke you, for the dreams you had before they tried to kill them, for the future you deserve after everything you've survived. The monster they created doesn't seek revenge. The monster they created seeks peace, real peace. The kind that comes from knowing your worth without needing anyone else to validate it. The kind that comes from loving yourself so deeply that no one else's rejection can touch you. The kind that comes from understanding that what they did says everything about them and nothing about you. They were broken people, trying to break someone else to feel whole. They were wounded souls trying to wound someone else to feel less alone in their pain. They were darkness trying to extinguish light because they couldn't handle the reflection of their own shadows. But you took their darkness and made it your throne. Let me tell you what happens next. They're gonna try to come back. Oh yes, they will. When they see how high you've risen, when they feel how cold your absence has made their world, when they realize that no one else will ever love them the way you did, they're gonna come crawling back. They'll show up with apologies, with explanations, with tears and promises that they've changed, that they understand now, that they'll never hurt you again. And when that moment comes, and it will come, you're going to smile. Not because you're happy to see them, not because you're considering taking them back, but because you'll finally see them for what they really are. Small, desperate, afraid of the monster they created. You won't need to say anything. You won't need to explain why you're not interested. You won't need to give them the closure they're seeking. Your silence will say everything. I'm no longer the person you destroyed. I'm the person you created. And this person has no room for you anymore. Then you'll turn around and walk away. Not with anger, not with resentment, just with the quiet confidence of someone who knows exactly who they are and exactly what they deserve. And they'll watch you go. Helpless, regretful, haunted. They created a monster, and now they fear the dark. So here's my message to you tonight. Don't be ashamed of what you've become. Don't apologize for your coldness. Don't feel guilty for no longer being the soft, vulnerable, easily manipulated person you once were. They did this to you. They forged you in fire and are now burning from the heat you radiate. They taught you that people can't be trusted and are now discovering that they're no longer trusted. They showed you how cruel the world can be and are now experiencing the consequences of their cruelty. You are not the villain in this story. You are the survivor, the warrior, the phoenix who rose from ashes that should have buried you forever. And if they call you a monster, good, let them, because this monster doesn't hurt innocent people. This monster doesn't seek destruction. This monster simply refuses to be destroyed. This monster walks in peace while they live in pieces. This monster sleeps soundly while they toss and turn with regret. This monster builds empires while they crumble under the weight of their own karma. They created a monster. And now they fear the dark. But you've made the dark your home. You've made the shadows your sanctuary. You've made the night your kingdom, and in that kingdom, you are untouchable. So let them fear. Let them regret. Let them wonder what they could have had if they had just treated you right. It's too late for them now. The monster is awake. The monster is rising. And the monster answers to no one but itself. Sleep well tonight, knowing that while they're out there terrified of shadows, you've become the shadow itself. While they're running from the dark, you've learned to dance in it. While they're praying for light, you've become comfortable in the very darkness they thought would destroy you. They created a monster, and that monster is finally free. Keep rising. Keep building. Keep becoming everything they said you couldn't be. Your existence is the revenge. Your peace is the punishment. Your success is the justice. They created a monster, and now they fear the dark. But you own it.